Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right. It's a Laker video. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm seeing LeBron James is questionable, and so I want to say something to him. I don't think we can beat this team without you, bro. I don't think so. I know AD, he's probable to play, so it's more than likely he's going to give it a go. But if Bron can go for this particular matchup, it would be in his best interest, if he wants to win, to play. The Rockets are not that kind of team, bro. They are not. Not this year, not with that coach. No. Bron needs to consider, if his body can go, not load managing this damn basketball game, fam. Not this one. Not this one. Now, I would love to be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll be happy. I'm not sitting up here saying that I'm pleased that I'm thinking this. I'm not. I'd like to have faith, blind faith in the team. We root for the team, the next man up. All that's beautiful. It really is. But that's not what the data's showing me. The data's showing me that this is a team that just lost to the Clippers and nobody else over the last month, basically. Nobody else. So if you think this is one of them Rockets games, you can say, oh, well, we just sit him for this one and he'll be ready for the tournament game against the Utah Jazz. Buddy, I know how important this tournament is to you. But if you lose another game to the Rockets, you're going to lose the season series. And by playoff times, there's a different tournament you're going to want to win. And we ain't going to have home court advantage against a very, very serious Rockets team. You ain't going to want that. You ain't going to want that. Because I can tell you right now, they're probably going to finish with a better record than us. We had better win that season series. And without LeBron James as currently constructed, no. That's a loss, fam. That's a loss without Anthony Davis being 100% as is, with his hip still acting up, and him kind of, you're not going to beat them athletes, bro. You're not. So I think LeBron James should, hopefully he's getting some rest right now. Hopefully he's not up watching no football. He needs to be asleep right now, because being questionable for this basketball game is not acceptable if he wants to win it. Now, the last game he played, he looked as good as he ever looked against a Portland Trail Blazer team. They hardly had nobody on the floor. And the only reason why he wouldn't have been questionable in that game is because it was a tournament game. But I'm telling you, we're putting way too much credence on this damn tournament and not enough credence on what it is that we're going to be seeing in the playoffs if we keep dropping games to teams like this, because it ain't a tournament game. It's a mistake. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is, are we still keeping Taurean Prince in the starting lineup? Because I spent a good 20 minutes of my pregame video of the Rockets telling y'all that he needs to not start. He needs to not start, fam. He's not, check out the video if you want to hear me go into it. I'm not going to sit up here and bash the man any further. He needs to not start. That needs to be Rui Hachimura, or we need to put Austin back in the starting lineup and let him be the 2 and let Cam be the 3. And I said Cam Whitmore a million times, but I'm sure you guys know I meant Cam Reddish. The names are a little too close together for me, and when I was rolling it off the tongue, I was making a lot of mistakes. So there's a lot of verbal errors in that video that I'm certain just came from me talking too fast. A lot. More than probably usual. But anyway, this Rockets team we talked enough about. I just want us to not take this game lightly. Every game we play against the Rockets needs to not be taken lightly. I said that last year. I'm saying it this year even more so. They are not who they were last year. That's Fred VanVleet. Amen Thompson's likely to be questionable tonight. If he does come back, he's just been, strengthens their bench so much more. Cam Whitmore is likely going to get some playing time if Terry Eason doesn't go. And we're still down to Vando. So it's like, this is not the game for Bron to miss, man. It's not. You might as well just chalk yourself up as a loss if you think you're going to run out there against those athletes without the king. You're not going to win. So, much has been said about trades. Zach LaVine, he's put us on his short list of teams, of where he would like to be. Us, Philly, and Miami. Maybe this is the one Miami finally gets, y'all. Because Miami's been striking out on everything. And since the start of the season, their team is a lot better than people thought they were going to be. And even I changed my tune on Miami right before the season started, because honestly, I looked at their depth chart and just thought it was a bit more impressive than I anticipated. It was. When you consider how good Haywood Highsmith can be, Jaime Jaquez having a big role. They still got Kyle Lowry, who's part of that generation that's still finding a way to contribute, even though they're old as hell. The Brons, Chris Pauls, Kevin Durant, they're still contributors. And it's a couple other guys on that bench too. Of course, Thomas Bryant's over there now. And you know I respect his offense quite a bit. I sort of look at him like Christian Wood with Christian Wood basically. When his ceiling goes all the way up, we've seen what he can do. So they got some guys over there, man. They don't suck. You know, Nikola Jovic, they haven't quite developed him yet, but I believe his ceiling can go pretty high if the injuries haven't set him back permanently. You know, Duncan Robinson now gets more minutes, so he's in a position to be more effective now, and he's proving that. Kevin Love is still over there, part of that generation of guys still contributing, old as hell. You know, they have a good solid roster that is better than one would think when they lose as much as they lost. Max Strus is playing great over there in Cleveland. He's playing great, by the way. Max Strus is really playing great. And I was the one killing his contract, but if he's going to continue to play like this, it's an excellent pickup. I ain't going to lie. He's playing like his contract is worth. He really is. So shout out to Max Strus in Cleveland. But losing this guy, losing Gabe Vincent, of whom I wish they still had, because Gabe Vincent ain't played a lick for us, and when he did, he ain't look bad. But point is, Miami did lose a lot, but they still have a lot. And I think Jaime Jaquez is a ready now contributor. So, yeah, they're pretty good. If they want to make a trade to send Zach LaVine there, I think that should be more doable given the fact that some of their assets have increased in value. So that's essentially what I'm trying to say. The other team was Philadelphia. I don't know what Philly really has to make a deal like that, because they ain't about to give up Maxey. That ain't happening, not with the year he's having. And, of course, everything else they have is a bit on the questionable side as it pertains to whether or not Chicago should want it. I just don't think Philly has the assets unless they're willing to part with Maxey. Tobias Harris is having a resurgence of a year. He's playing great, but I don't think... Well, I'll tell you this. I will say this. Maybe the Chicago Bulls want his expiring contract so they can have it come off the books if they don't want to re-sign Tobias Harris. And if that's the case, maybe they can swap Tobias Harris' contract for Zach LaVine. Maybe a few other things come over, but that could be attractive to a team like Miami who might be looking to blow this thing up completely. So that's a real thing, now that I consider it. Because I think Tobias is on like 35. I don't know that Zach is on much more than that. I don't know. I haven't looked at Zach's contract, but I don't remember it being much more than that. So that might actually be a decent trade if they wanted to go that route. I don't know how much better he makes Philly than Tobias Harris. I don't know. I do have him slotted as a higher level talent, Tobias Harris, but he's much smaller too. But you put him next to Tyrese Maxey, and you have a lethal tandem of guys flying all over the floor around Joel Embiid. That might be the hell of a upgrade there. But I don't know if it helps him defensively. But I don't think you only bring him over if you make a trade like that, if you're Philly. But I don't think the fit look as good in Philly to me off rip, but that trade does look okay. And then for us, if Chicago wanted to make a deal with us, it would be probably Gabe Vincent and D'Angelo Russell. If it's for my money, I'm not throwing in Rui Hachimura in that deal, but I don't know if the Lakers are not willing to throw in Rui Hachimura in that deal. I don't know how the Lakers feel about that. But I personally am not up for moving Rui Hachimura in that deal. But then again, the Lakers are also looking at multiple players like Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan. If you're trying to get all those guys, you most definitely throwing in Rui. Probably throwing in Austin too. Although it's been said the Lakers are not interested in throwing in Austin. But if he keeps on playing like this, they may change their mind, man. Because he's been playing like crap. And we see his defensive deficiencies, and I don't know if they're going to get much better than that. But I'm going to tell Austin, just like I said to our center, just do more push-ups, bro. On top of everything that you do, just get on the floor and do more push-ups in your daily day regimen. I know that sounds like a very simple thing to ask of a guy who's already working out and playing basketball, or rather not so simple thing to ask, but that's going to put on more strength than people think, man. Simple calisthenic push-ups every single day. And when I say our center, I'm referring to Jackson Hayes. He just needs to get stronger in his upper body. I think Austin the same thing, man. Just simple 75 push-ups every 2 hours. Just get down. You know what I mean? Literally. And I promise you do that for long enough, and you're going to get the strength you're looking for. And, of course, squats and stuff like that for the lower body is even more important for strength. But I think it's just weight room for some of these dudes, man. They're just younger. They're young kids. That's all it is. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of these guys, we want them to be something because we paid them, but they haven't put on the muscle yet to be able to keep up with grown men who have put on that muscle. So that's what it's going to take. It's just a little extra working out and an expedited process of them putting that grown man strength on their body. Austin's what, only 26, 25 years old? It's still a long time for him to get that grown man strength that he's looking for. And we need him to have it now. That's basically what it comes down to. But that's really all it comes down to. Because once that strength comes on, his basketball IQ is sky high. So as far as me being worried about Austin Reaves long term, I am not. And that's why I'm not trading him. If he has a down year, it's a down year. What's a down year in a career of 15 years? Like, it's 1 year, fam. So that's why I don't want to be too short-sighted in regards to a guy that we want to keep for the rest of his career, hopefully, in Austin Reaves. I see him being a lifer of a Laker, so I don't want to trade him just because he doesn't look good in this unit. This unit's going to be a different unit, and he'll be a part of that unit looking much better in various different ways over the course of several years. So a contract like that with a player that talented, you don't move that. So I don't think the Lakers move Austin Reaves, even if he's playing bad. The contract's too good. So that's one of those situations where I just say, the Zach LaVine trade, like I said, for me, it's Gabe Vincent. I'm not going to get short-sighted when it comes to D'Angelo Russell. I have an inverted way of looking at D'Lo. Just because he's playing well don't mean I want to keep him. He's playing well, but I don't trust him to stay healthy, and I don't expect him to be consistent. He's proven me that he's not consistent over the course of several years. Talented, but not very consistent. And because he doesn't match up next to Austin Reaves, of whom I want for 15 years, I got to move D'Lo at some point. Because I'm going to need that stronger point guard next to D'Lo, next to Austin. So that just goes with it. It's one or the other, and I'm choosing Austin. That's just my preference on the situation. But D'Lo's talented as hell, man. And D'Lo's in a good rhythm, and he's making plays for others. He seems to be getting better as his playmaking responsibilities seem to increase. He looks like he's improving. So D'Lo looks good right now. But I don't know if that's a reason to not trade him. Probably is the reason you do trade him, to be honest with you. So if we can get D'Lo for Austin Reaves, I'm with that. D'Lo for Zach LaVine, I'm with that. Obviously, you have to throw in that Gabe Vincent for the contract, but I'd do that in a heartbeat. And I think Zach LaVine would be very happy for us to make a move like that because it would put him on a team that's very talented. And we start depleting the team to bring him in, and we ain't going to be able to withstand the injuries that he's likely to get. And just like D'Lo, you can't count on him to be as consistent as you want him to be. Although he's a hyper athlete, he's not overly talented defensively, nor is he overly IQ-y, basketball IQ-y. He's really not. So he's just a bucket and a high fly act of the highest order. And one of the most athletic players the game has ever seen is Zach LaVine. He's had several injuries, but they never took away his athleticism. He's just a freak athlete. And so we would love to have Zach LaVine. When he gets in his bag, he's nearly unstoppable. But when he's cold, he's nearly unstoppable in the other way of putting things. Meaning he's just going to keep shooting the 1 for 30 if you let him. So that's my concern about Zach LaVine. I'm just not overly high on Zach LaVine. He don't give me enough defensively for his deficiencies when he's cold, if that makes any sense. And he ain't going to drive at the bucket enough. Even though he's super athletic, he's not overly strong. So it's not like you want him guarding certain people. He's still going to get cooked by the De'Aaron Foxes and the Tyrese Maxeys. They still going to. He's probably not matched up with them anyway, defensively. But I've seen too much bad Zach LaVine. I'm just going to be honest with you. I've seen too much bad Zach LaVine, man. Some guys, you just seen them play so poorly in certain situations till you kind of don't even want them on your team, even though you know their ceiling can go way up. So like Jordan Poole. I don't want Jordan Poole. I know Jordan Poole is one of the most gifted scorers in the world. I also know Jordan Poole is one of the most streaky guys out there who's going to go for 1 for 30, like I said. Players like that, you got to deal with the reward and you got to deal with the risk, so to speak. And it just becomes a situation where it's like, I kind of pass. I can totally see a situation where we're going to want Zach LaVine out of here just as quick as we got him. And if the contract, if the price tag is too bad, we end up giving away Rui and Austin and all that, we're going to be mad. He ain't worth that. He just not. Super talented. A jet of a player, but not worth that. And what we have to understand is, and this is the truth, more Jets are coming into this league. You may be able to get you a Zach LaVine with a first-round pick in the mid-round 2 years from now. Like, they're coming. You just got to know that. So, and when you go to overpay for a guy on multi-years, you may have his replacement in place just off of the strength of your pick. So you got to be careful not to zoom in on one season. Okay, I want this guy this season. Just like I said about Austin the other way. You don't want to just zoom into this one season and look and say, okay, I need this guy. Mess around and end up having somebody you don't want on a bad contract when you keep on drafting people that ultimately you want to usurp them. It's what Charlotte keeps running into in certain situations. They keep drafting guards, but they got 2 contracts that they must play in Gordon Hayward and Scary Terry. So it's like they can never quite get the guards in place unless those 2 guys are hurt, which they often are, which makes their contracts not desirable. So it's just a bunch of stuff you don't want to tumble forward to having that problem just because you thought it was a great idea to get Scary Terry one random year. No, we've learned that lesson. That's how you stay bad. So, yeah, man, you want movable contracts at all times. I'm not sure Zach LaVine is not movable. He certainly is, but it's just the point, man. Are you sure you're not going to draft Zach LaVine 2 years from now? And if so, will he still be on that bad contract right now that he's, then as he is right now? If you give him an extension, you definitely will be. So these are things that I'm just thinking about as a Laker fan. I'm like, Zach LaVine, I don't know, man. It may not be the move. We may want a 3rd star, but this may be like that Russell Westbrook thing. I'm not saying Zach LaVine and Russell Westbrook are the same. They are not. But it could kind of be one of them things where you regret it just the same if you do it. So that's why I don't think Zach LaVine is the star I want, man. I want to see what else shakes it loose. Something else may shake it loose. There's something else that may shake it loose. And I just see too many players in this league right now on rookie contracts that have bad roles, friends. And I look at Cam Whitmore, I'm like, we can't get Cam Whitmore out of Houston. They ain't even using him. We can't get Terry Easton out of Houston if we can't get Cam Whitmore. Like, they ain't gonna use all them damn forwards, fam. So while we trying to target people on massive contracts, that's where my head's at. We can't go get some of them dudes out of Charlotte with all them damn guards they got. We can't go get Nick Young. Not Nick Young. What is his name? Is his name Nick Young? I don't know. One of them guards that they got. Nick Smith. That's what I'm trying to say. Nick Smith. They can't go grab him while he's still a rookie underdeveloped. I mean, we had an eye on him. He's stuck in Charlotte. He can't even play. You know what I mean? Even getting off the ground. It's like, yo, go get him. That's what the Lakers need to be doing instead of targeting these big old contracts of these dudes that may be cool. Kind of, nah, man. Find Bron's predecessor on a rookie contract before he becomes that. That's where the hell our mind should be at. Go get Nikola Jovic from Miami. He's on a rookie contract. They're not using him. He broke his leg 2 years ago. All this different stuff look like he ain't going to turn into nothing. Just put him on the damn team, man. That's where my head's at. Go get some of them dudes. Go get Kobe Buffkin from Atlanta, of whom is never going to get off the bench. They ain't never going to play him because they got DeJounte Murray and Trae Young entering their damn prime right now. They can't use Kobe Buffkin. Ain't no point in time they're going to use Kobe Buffkin. They're going to end up trading Kobe Buffkin at some point. Go get him now. You know what I'm saying? Go get James Bouknight from Charlotte. There ain't nobody even paying attention to James Bouknight. Go get him. Some dudes I just know are talented as hell, man. That's my thing. It's like I don't have to be surprised when they turn into something because they have natural talent. They're going to turn into something. They're born to play basketball. They just need to get the hell out of where they're at. Hell out of where they're at. Kason Wallace over in OKC. They ain't never going to use Kason Wallace the right way. It's never going to happen, y'all. Never. As long as they got Giddey and SGA, which are never going away, they're never going to use Kason Wallace in a positive way. Even if they wanted to move Giddey to the 3. Guess who's in the way with the 3? J-Dub. They ain't never going to move J-Dub. You see what I'm saying? OKC has all the talent in the world. They can't keep all of them. Go get some of them dudes off of these teams, man. Stop targeting these whack contracts and go get them rookies out of there before they turn into something. You put them on your team and all of a sudden you got a super team because they're really that talented. Looking for Zach LaVine. No damn Zach LaVine. Go get me one of those guys. They're going to be Zach LaVine tomorrow. And very good role players today. All you got to do is showcase them a little bit. So that's where I'm at with that, man. When we pick up Jalen Hood-Schifino, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even think he's that gifted. He's not as gifted as some of the dudes I mentioned. He's not, man. We got him. It's like, all right. Yeah, all right. And I think most of LA feels that way about Jalen Hood-Schifino. Like, yeah, all right. He's cool. Don't get me wrong. He's going to help you. Mid-range jump shooter, true point guard. Probably play some real defense. Could get a lot stronger, but Nah, he's not a jet, man. He's not getting off the ground. He's gonna be getting packed a lot of the time, man. The mid-range jumper ain't falling. He's 4 for 16, bro. I already know what that looks like. Some stuff you can just see coming before it even happens. So for me, it's like, I would have rather had Nick Smith. Would have rather had Marcus Sasser. It's just a lot of guys. I look up, some of the dudes probably should have taken them. So this is my attitude, man. Hopefully I'm wrong about Jay Hood-Schifino, but I look at his attributes and I just don't think he's gonna turn into no Jason Kidd, ain't nothing like that. You know what I mean? He's not. Maybe he turns into a D Fish type dude. That's wonderful for us, but you gotta have Kobe next to him, don't you? So I don't know, man. I just feel like the Lakers really dropped the ball in the draft. Not to say that we should have took Cam Whitmore, but we should have took somebody else. I really believe that. But hopefully the kid can make me eat crow, man. We're gonna definitely grow to love him either way. He's gonna be a starting point guard for us if we don't give him away. But it's just how high does the ceiling really go, man? How high does it really go? Go get Malachi Branham from the San Antonio Spurs. They ain't using him like that. Go get him. He can play. These are just names that just come to mind. I know these dudes can play. I don't need nobody to tell me. I already know. Naismith from the Pacers. Get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? Why they want to play Buddy Hield 30 minutes? Man, go get their guards. Nimhard. Go get him out of there, bro. He's going to be an all-star one day. That's one of the best defenders in the world. And he can shoot. Two-way guy. You kidding me? Get me Nimhard. Get me Kason Wallace. That's my future backcourt right there. They're going to lock people up and hit shots. Left and right. Like some stuff is just like, yo, I can see this coming. Y'all don't see it coming. I see it coming. The only thing that's going to stop them kids from turning into anything is bad rolls and injuries. That's it. Other than that, they turn into something. It's just a matter of when they get the opportunity. Go get Jaden Ivey from the Detroit Pistons. He ain't turned into nothing up there. Go get him. All of this needs to be understood. You know, go get Cole Anthony from Orlando. They got too many guards there any damn way. They just drafted AB. All of this, man. All of it. So that's what I got to say, man. And we're targeting guys that people understand are good. I saw someone in the comment section say, you know what would be good for this Laker team is Jared Dudley. Jared Dudley's 176 years old. What are we talking about, man? Stop reaching in the past. With Dwight Howard? No, you don't want Dwight Howard, man. You want James Najee. Go get James Najee. You understand what I'm saying? Like, just think forward, not backwards, Laker fans. You know, this Taurean Prince, I don't need Taurean Prince to be Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince can be somebody else. He can be a small forward that's young. Or that same Oak that I'm talking about. That could be what's his name? Not Brandon Miller, although Brandon Miller would be great, but he's a lottery pick. We're talking about somebody in the second round or something like that. The other Miller from the one in Minnesota. That's who that should be. So I'm just being honest. I'm out with the old. Y'all know that. Unless they can still play, which some of them really can. But some of these career old role guys, y'all know we've had this conversation for a million years. I don't want to see them no more. They couldn't play back then. They can't play now for sure. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.